I'm going to show you 3 proven methods to get your first AI automation client worth more than 10K within the next 30 days. I promise you, if you follow the methods I show you in this video, step by step, and you implement them as quickly as you can, you will get your first AI automation client within 30 days. The reason I know this is because I spent months and months and months trying to find a good way to get AI automation clients, and now I've scaled my own AI automation agency, Pluto AI, from $0 to $20,000 a month, and it took me far longer than it should have, but now I know how to get these clients, so I'm here to teach you that. And method 3 is the absolute best way, in my opinion, to get AI automation clients quickly. So stick around for that. And just a little bit of background on myself. I run a company called Pluto AI. We're an AI automation agency where we build custom-built solutions for clients in pretty much any industry. And we've managed to hit $20,000 in revenue. And we did this in pretty much 4 months. If you're watching this video, you're well ahead of the curve, right? AI and automation is going to take over the world as we know it. It's already taking over the world as we know it. Some of the automations we've built have been so instrumental to businesses, they've got 10 to 15 times return on investment because these automations are just so powerful. So selling them is a breeze when you know how to do it. First of all, when you're not getting clients, the first thing you need to do is identify why you aren't getting clients. That's with any problem. Even when you're building out automations, you have to understand what the problem is and then how to fix it. You don't go to solve how to fix something unless you know what the problem is and why that problem is occurring. So why is it hard to get sales? Well, problem 1 is there is no trust. I suppose if you're watching this, then you're a new AI automation agency, which means you don't have testimonials, you don't have previous clients which can vouch for you, which means when you go to pitch someone new, there is no trust between you and them. So unfortunately, for the first few deals that you have to put in some serious legwork, right? And what you have to do is give free value. Giving out free value is amazing when you're starting your own AI automation agency, because when you go to a business owner, you tell them, hey, I can make you X amount of money, I can save you X amount of money, and I'll do it for free. For them, it's a no-brainer, right? They've got no risk attached to it. Whereas when you start to charge them, there is more risk, and that's when people typically fail. So the first few deals, unfortunately, you do have to put some serious legwork in to get it done. But as soon as you have those first few deals done, you can get testimonials, you can get proof that you've actually gone and built something really valuable, and that's when you can start to charge people the big bucks for it. And if you follow exactly what I'm going to show you here, even though the first project might be free with that client, you should probably get another 5 or 10 projects on the back of it, which could be worth more than $30,000 to $50,000. So really, that first deal is like insignificant with that free sort of value. So the first problem is no trust, and a great solution to that is free value. And the second problem, which isn't really a problem, but it's you're not portraying your automations as something that's valuable enough. You're not portraying that they are, have any return to them. If you're building an automation for someone, the return should be tangible. You should say, how many hours do you put into, that workflow? How many hours would I save if I went and automated this? How long how long does your team spend on this task? And then you multiply that by how much the team makes every single hour or every single month, and then you can essentially extrapolate the return on investment. So problem 2 is what you're selling is not perceived. Let me change this. So what you're selling is not, let me get rid of this, is not perceived to be valuable enough, because AI automations, spelled wrong, AI automations are valuable. I have sold them for more than $10,000 a piece, like just one automation, right? So as long as you can show the value to the business owner, then they're valuable. But you have to basically baby spoon feed them, here comes the airplane style, into their mouth to say, look, this is the return on this automation. We're going to save you this amount, and we're charging you 1/10 of it or 1/5 of it. So for you, it's a great deal, right? And the 3 methods I'm about to show you directly show that they'll fix all these problems. And I will go back and show you how they fix these problems. Because I know if you solve these 2 problems, where you build trust and you make sure that what you're selling actually has some value and they can see the return, you will sell AI automations. There's no way you won't, because you're putting a irresistible offer, or an offer they can't deny, right? If they know you're going to pull through and they know they're going to save $10,000, for example, they're never going to say no, right? So it's the same way. You just got to make sure that you've got these 2 factors nailed down and you'll sell forever, basically. Okay, so we've identified the problem of why we're not selling. Now, how do we fix this? Well, there's 3 methods, like I said. The first method is you do a pre-built automation for a niche. So I'm going to suppose you're building these automations out using the no-code platforms. This could be Make.com or NA10. And one of the great things about Make.com and NAN is that they have this import a scenario template feature where they'll download the file in JSON. You can upload it to numerous different Make.com and NAN accounts. I have numerous videos about these two platforms on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok channel. So you should definitely go and have a look through that if you're not too sure what I'm talking about, because that is kind of a prerequisite before you go and sell AI automations. You should kind of know how to build them. But yeah, so that means once you build an automation, you can apply it to numerous different businesses as long as it's applicable to them. So the first step here is you need to pick a niche with a painful, repetitive task. The best way to pick a niche is if you already worked within that niche before. So for example, if you worked as a real estate agent, then you should know the problems that real estate agents face because you worked there, right? The same way if you worked at like a fish and chip shop, for example, you should know the problems a fish and chip shop face. Maybe a fish and chip shop might not be the best example for, building out automations, but it's the first thing that came to my head. But a real estate agent is a great example. So you need to pick a niche with a painful, repetitive task that has not been solved across the industry, right? And then you need to build an automation that solves that painful, repetitive task. And it should give an instant result, right? So for example, if real estate agents spend 5 hours every single day chasing up leads, chasing up, people that own houses and also chasing up people for viewings, then you can build an automation that you can just plug right into their system that will allow you to, allow them to do that all on automation, for example. And you should offer it for free to a few businesses in that niche. So you should find like 20 real estate agents. The best way to do this is either you can send them an email, but sometimes that kind of gets skipped and missed. Another way you can go and do that is literally knock on the real estate agent's door, find out who the owner is, and then say, hey, I have this automation. I know typically your staff might spend 5 or 6 hours doing this. Would you like to test this on a small sample? I'm giving it to you for free, essentially. And, it could lead to a bigger project down the line. But of course, if you don't have that opportunity, then send it to them via email, give them a call and ask them if they'd like to do it for free. And once they see value, and they will see value because that's a problem in their industry, you can upsell them on bigger automations. So the method why this works is, number one, it removes the risk for the business. It's free, so they have no reason to say no, right? Like I said, it proves your value instantly. You can say, oh, look, here is the value in my automation, and businesses trust you, right? So it's trust and value. Both those points are being hit really neatly here. Okay, sweet. So some of you might be asking, I don't really have a niche that I can pick, and this is fine, right? So normally AI automation companies go one of two ways. So the way we went is we don't have a niche, right? We service clients in so many different industries that are like completely different to each other. So for us, a lot of our processes aren't repeatable. We don't build the same automation ever, really. We've never built the same automation for 2 different clients. Everything is fully custom and tailor-made. So for us, this method might not be the best, but if you're looking to, have a niche for your AI automation agency, then this works really, really well. So you focus on niche like a real estate industry or like a lawyer or whatever, industry. I'd recommend one that you're really familiar with and you kind of have a passion for. That's great. So the hardest problem for us, and I can tell you from experience where we've got to $20,000 per month, is that onwards, but we don't have a niche, so it's really hard for us to scale, right? We have to keep hiring more and more developers to allow us to scale because we don't have any repeatable automations. Every time we have to start from scratch, and that's super, super time consuming and also a little bit complicated. So if you're starting up an AI automation company and you want to scale really fast to really high numbers, you need a repeatable service and product. And that's where having a niche is really useful. If you don't care about that, then perhaps this method might not be best for you. But if you're looking for a niche, then this is great because you can really put a name within that niche. Here are some examples for good niches for this automation. Number one is a real estate agent. So you can automate lead follow-up, like I mentioned. E-commerce brand, you can automate order tracking and customer support. Marketing agency, you can automate lead qualification and onboarding. But really the most ideal thing to do is start in a niche you have experience in. If you don't have experience, then you can pick any random one. You can maybe have a chat with ChatGPT and ask it which niches would be best and which processes would be best. But really, if you have something experience in that niche or just know about a lot about it, then this method would work really, really well. Rules for the solution you are building, right? So the solution you are building is one of the most important things for this method to work. The automation needs to show instant ROI, whether that's in money saved, It doesn't have to directly save money, but like you can even show potential that it saves money, like that lead follow-up automation I mentioned earlier. They might try it on a little, subsect of their business, but they can see how it would work, how it would save money. And then you can build all the bells and whistles around it to really make it, robust. But, it just shows that there is some return in what you're building. It should not be dependent on the tools they're using. So it should just be like, oh, here's a Google Sheet, which everyone has, or here's an Excel that everyone has. It should just be using generic tools rather than like integrating to one specific CRM. This way you can easily replicate this across numerous different businesses. It should also be quick to set up. Ideally, it should just be import directly into one of their make.com or NAN accounts, which you can set up for them. And there you go, it's all set up. Here's a really cool pro tip if you're doing this, right? Say you build out a calling agent because that's what your niche needs, right? And it's because they have slow pickup times. Like I've called numerous lawyers, solicitors, what we call them in the UK, and genuinely I call them and it rings and it rings and it rings, and then it goes to answer machine, and then I never really call them back and they've missed out on a lead, right? So if you go within your local industry and you call up all the lawyers within your industry, and if they don't pick up, then you can go and directly record that call basically, and then go to the owner of that real estate agent, message them saying, oh look, here is a call I made to one of your companies and no one picked up, right? How many leads are you missing this way? Because I called. Well, here's a solution to it. Here's a calling agent, right? That will fix this. You'll be able to call and vet every single lead that comes through, so you'll never miss them. How much more money will that make you, right? So that way you've literally proven to them there's a problem by doing the background research. You've given them a call, you've shown that no one's picking up, which means they're missing out on these leads, and you've directly put a solution to them. You're way more likely to get a higher response rate doing this. And I've even thought of an amazing cold email title you could do with that. It's like, I called your business, no one picked up, right? A business owner is always going to click on that email because they're like, what did I miss by by missing this call? So that's an amazing cold email title, and I guarantee you that will get you more clients if you're selling a calling agent. So that works really well with front end automations where you can directly see the problem. With back end automations, this is a little bit more tricky. So for this, again, this type of automation where you're giving it away for free and it's already a replicatable system, you want to make sure that they actually have that problem. And if it's a front end system, like for example, you message them and they don't respond super quick, then you can tell them instantly that you can help them out straight away. Okay, so moving on to the next part of this, and one of the most important things is who to target. So now that you have your automation idea, ideally, if you want it to be super, super successful, it's a front-end automation for a niche that has this problem on a reputable basis, and you can integrate it really quick. You have that process down to a T. Now, who do you actually want to target? Well, the first thing is you want to target a business that has budget, right? Because if you go to a business that doesn't have budget, they might be like, yeah, great, I'll take this free automation off you. Then when it comes to actually going to make money and actually having a client that can pay you up to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, they need to have the money to be able to do that in the first place. So you want a business that has budget. And the second thing is you want to ensure that that business has the pain point that you're solving. For example, you give them a ring and they don't pick up, then they fit your ideal client profile really well. You really want to build a long-term relationship with these clients, ideally 6 months or longer. We have, I think, about an 8-month client turnover rate, and our lifetime value is super, super high because we do a great job when we build automations. We show return on investment, so clients keep coming back to us for more and more things they can automate, right? So unlike a marketing company where you typically have a lot of churn, if you run an AI automation company properly, you won't have a lot of churn, and you can aim for a $50,000 lifetime value. That is crazy, right? You can make a lot of money off each client. And if your clients match either of these two requirements, you're pretty much clean to go, right? Either if they have 20 plus employees or $500,000 or £500,000, wherever you're based in revenue, then they will definitely have the budget and capacity to, take on automations. Also with smaller businesses, you have less opportunity to automate because they're doing less repeatable tasks because they just aren't serving that many clients. Whereas with much larger companies, they have so many processes that are ripe and ready to be automated where their return is going to be so big. So you want to target companies roughly with about this type of statistics to get this, first of all, 50,000 lifetime value, and also have the best opportunities to, automate and create some real return for them. Great. So you might be asking, Yash, brilliant. You've told me who to target. You've told me how to target them. You've told them the kind of automation that would work really well for this. But how do I find them? I don't have many businesses that I can reach out that have 20 plus employees and, $500,000 in revenue just in my back pocket, which is very much fair, right? So this is exactly how you can find businesses that match your requirements. Well, the first thing I do is go into Facebook groups. You can look for business owners discussing their pain points. You can just search Facebook groups like with marketing companies, lawyers, whatever your niche is. You can find out where they hang out, and then you can go and reach out to them. LinkedIn search is great as well. And again, you will get a lot of people that don't match your ICP within these groups. You've just got to filter them out, right? You've got to ask them like, oh, nice, how big's your team? Don't be like super aggressive with it. Just be like, oh, nice, how big's your team? Oh, how many employees do you have? Oh, how many clients do you have? You can ask all of this. Oh, well, how much do you typically charge a client? Oh, brilliant. So how many clients do you have? How much do you typically charge a client? And then you can kind of work out what their revenue is from there, right? If you don't want to ask them directly, how much revenue you're making. Apollo.io and Crunchbase are also brilliant to find small but growing businesses that might need your help. And of course, industry-specific job boards are super important because if they're hiring and they've got like 10 different jobs out, they've got a lot of funding, which means you can definitely go and help them out. Most important thing here is you need to know where your niche hangs out. If it's lawyers, then they'll probably hang around on LinkedIn. If it's real estate agents, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really too sure where real estate agents hang out, probably LinkedIn as well and some other places. So yeah, this is a really cool way. Also, any business that has like a high street shop will 100% be almost within the $500,000 or pound revenue part of your, the ICP. So those are always really, really good to target as well. So we know where your ICP is. We know what to target them. You know how to frame this whole thing, right? You know that here's your problem, here's the solution. It's for free, you're welcome, right? And you know to only target businesses that match your ICP just to make sure they're not just going to take your free automation, waste your time, and then disappear, right? There's no point in doing that because you're not really gaining a client by doing that. So we've managed to overcome all those problems and understand how this method works in that sense. The second part of this is how to actually deliver. So you've got the client, they've agreed, they want your free automation. How do you actually deliver this? Well, this is how you set up the free automation the right way. Once they say yes, you need to make sure you make the process as smooth as possible. You need to make sure that they go, oh my God, this AI automation company was amazing. I want to recommend you to 50 different people. And I also want to make sure that we work until everything in my business is automated. I'm going to be honest, running my AI automation agency, if we did not do this, we would not even be making 10% of the revenue we make right now. I would say 80% of our revenue comes from repeatable business. This is because if you do a great job, it's way cheaper to maintain the same client base you have and, build as many automations as you can instead of having to keep finding new ones because it's a real pain to keep finding new ones, right? So building good quality automations is the best growth strategy when you're running an AI automation business. And I have to be honest, there are so many people that are starting AI automation agencies, especially 2025 and 2026. I can imagine it's going to be the hottest thing because AI and automation is revolutionizing the world. You, by watching this video, are so early to, what I think this industry is going to look like that you're here already, but you need to make sure you do a good job so you make a name for yourself in this industry, right? That's the whole way we're going to really get ahead with this. So how you set up this automation to make the process really smooth is you book a quick call with them. This can be 15 to 30 minutes. You confirm their workflow. You make sure so your, let's go for a real estate agent, for example. Oh, so your agent gets how many times do they reach out to them? Oh, when do they reach out to them? Oh, when the new property is being listed, do they reach out? Awesome. Oh, what part of the sales process do they reach out to them? You get all these details from them based on whatever automation you're building. And then you go and integrate this automation in less than 48 hours because people get bored. And if they're not paying, they don't have any skin in the game. So they're going to get really bored unless you do things quickly. So normally if someone's paying you, you can take a bit more time because they also have skin in the game and they really want to make sure it works well. If they're not paying you, like in this aspect, they don't care if it works well or not because they're not losing anything if it doesn't work well. So you need to make sure you build the automation in as quick of a time as possible and you record a video demo explaining how it works and perhaps if they need to do any action items within it. You give them access to it and then you just let it run and you show them on that little sample or however else you want to integrate it, which you can discuss with them, how this automation is going to work, and just show them how it's in action. And make sure you monitor this automation constantly. If anything goes wrong, fix it. Make sure the service is 10 out of 10. Then a week later, you give them a call and you show them what you've done, you show them the impact it's had, and catch up. And this catch-up call is one of the most vital things. The reason why this catch-up call is the most vital thing is because this is where you want to close to actually get a paying client. You know, our goal isn't just to work for free, it's to get a paying client and to bring revenue into the business. So if you've done everything right, you've built out the automation, the service has been amazing, and it was actually a problem, which was a real big pain in their butt, and now you've solved that pain, then it should be the easiest call of your whole AI automation career, because you've got the trust, you've got the return, they understand what you're capable of, they know you're super efficient, and they know what you're talking, and they know that you know what you're talking about. So this call is going to be super easy, right? So I have seen many times when you implement this particular method, the client will come to you and say, hey, this was another problem I was facing. Thank you so much for solving that previous problem. Here's another problem that I was facing. And they will literally come with money in hand and say, can you build this for me, right? And it's just amazing what building trust and showing return can do. Let's say that they don't do that, right? They've they're super busy, they haven't had time to really check up on this automation. This is when you show them what the automation's done. Just really reiterate where they were when they were initially without the automation. Oh, your agents were spending 3-4 hours a day, chasing up with all these leads. Now it's fully automated, man. We freed up 4 to 5 hours of all your agents. You pay your agents $30 an hour. That's $150 every single day per agent saved. You have 5 agents, that's $750 every single day saved over a week. That's like silly money, right? The same way, that's $3,500, right? Close to that, basically. So, you can show them the return, show them what you're capable of, and then say, we did this really quickly, we did them on point, and we can build this out for you on a much bigger scale. We can integrate this within all your systems. We've done this 100 times, or, maybe don't say that because your first client, but, we're pros at building out this system, right? And if you have done it before, and this is the way to get your second client, then that's even better. You can show, we did it with this client, we built them out the big system, we can do it for you as well. If you haven't done that, then just say, we're really, really professionals at building up this specific system, we can do it for you, and then so then that's the best way to do it, and you make sure you upsell and you build rapport. So another way is if they're just like, oh, it's good, but we're not making enough return on this, then you need to go and dive deeper. You need to understand what their pain points are and suggest solutions. So they might be like, well, that real estate follow-up automation wasn't super useful. We do it, but really we only have a team of 1 in 10 that does it. It's really not worth the price you're quoting me for it. So then you can go, okay, great. So what else do you do manually? Is there anything else you guys spend a lot of time doing? Is there anything you're spending a lot of money doing? And 9 out of 10 times, if the business is as big, so if you're following this ICP here, they will always have manual tasks where you can provide great value, right? You just need to find out what it is. So once you find out what it is, you can implement and say, oh, well, we can build you this and this and this that will solve that problem and it will save you this much money, right? Same thing, trust and value. So from there, it's really, really easy to take it on this second call to land that client. And that's it. From there, you should have your first long-term client. Now, I'm not going to say this process will work on the first go. You might have to do it 5 or 6 times to get it to go, but it'll be really easy to get people to agree to actually, for you to implement this free solution because it's free, right? So even though it might take 5 or 6 times and quite a bit of legwork, your reward is your first ever AI automation client. And I can tell you that's the best feeling ever because your business actually feels like it's going somewhere. And that's it. And hopefully that client will lead you to, doing numerous different other automations. And you can stick with this method for the first 3, 4, or 5 clients. And by then you'll have a name within your industry and you'll also be making a bunch more money, right? Where you can start to, be a bit more picky with the clients you take. You can be, you'll be so busy building out all the existing automations for your already proved niche and your already client base. So, life will be good. You just need to make sure you follow this to a T, make sure you take everything I've said into consideration, especially about targeting the right ICP, targeting the right niche, picking out the right automation. Those are the 3 most important things. And if you follow my tips and my tricks I've just mentioned, you will land your first client. Okay, so that's method one covered. Let's zoom over to method two. So method two is a little bit similar, but a little bit different, right? This is for someone who's kind of trying to start an AI automation like I did, where we're not niching down. And this one is a AI automation strategy that will take you a lot of time to implement. But if you do it right, like for example, I told you with this one, you might need to try it 5 or 6 times before you actually land your first client. And again, I'm going to be super real with you. A lot of people on the internet will tell you, oh yeah, if you just do this once, your client will just come landing in your lap and you're done, right? That's, you can be lucky and that could be the case, but I'm going to be super real, right? Getting your first client is a pain, but anything good is a pain, right? Otherwise everyone would be doing it. So this one here, you probably need to do it once or 2 times and you'll end up actually, you'll actually end up getting some really, really good clients from this method over here. So but it does require a lot more legwork without getting paid for that legwork. So this method is similar to method one, the work for free strategy, but you just don't have a niche, which means your automation is not like repetitive, right? You actually have to go in and just do a job for free, basically. You can land a high-paying AI automation client, but you have to prove your value first, right? So you want to offer a free automation to a medium-sized business, same sort of ICP as the previous method, which is 20 plus employees or 500K revenue. And you need to deliver fast, high-impact results to turn free work into paid contracts. Again, this solves the 2 main problems we had. The first problem is businesses trust people who deliver value, not random cold messages. You can cold email with no clients and you probably won't get anywhere because the first thing someone on cold email will ask you is, oh, do you have a case study about this? Oh, do you have a testimonial about this? And they won't even bother getting on a call with you if you don't have this, right? So you have to kind of put in some legwork to get your first client. That's just part of the way it works now in 2025 when trust levels on the internet are an all-time low because people do scam other people, right? Back when we started our AI automation agency, we didn't get a client for 5 months, right? And I hired 2 marketing companies to actually get us our first client. And it was basically like me getting thousands of pounds and just incinerating it because I didn't land a single client from any of that money we put in. And until I actually figured out how to market, our AI automation strategies ourselves, it was really pointless because there is a lot of crap, to be entirely honest, in this market, right? And in general on the internet. So people want to be really, really sure when you go and offer them something. And if you're charging the sort of prices we charge, where we're charging like anywhere between $5,000 to $20,000 for an automation, they want to make sure what they're getting is really high quality, and you need to be able to return and actually build really high quality automations. And if you don't have any case studies or any trust, no one's going to buy off you essentially. So you want to deliver fast, high impact results to turn free work into paid contracts. And why this method works is because businesses trust people who deliver value, not random cold messages. Medium-sized businesses have more work and bigger budgets. And offering something free removes friction and you typically get a higher response rate. If you combine method 2 with method 3 that I'm going to show you, you will guaranteed be unstoppable. Like literally, I reckon if you combine them 2 together, that will be your fastest way to get your first client. And I'm like 100% sure you'll do it in under a month if you literally just follow method 2 and method 3 and you combine them together. So I'll let you know about method 3. Stick around for that one. It's really, really good. So as I've been drilling into your head this entire video, trust is everything. Businesses don't trust cold emails, cold messages anymore, right? You might get some responses and some value, but delivering value is the only way to actually build trust nowadays, right? And you don't have any results or testimonials like I mentioned before. Again, make sure you target medium-sized businesses because you don't want to work for free on a small client and then just to tell you, oh, actually, I can't afford your services. Thanks for the free automation, mate. I'll see you later, because you've just worked for free and you haven't really got anything back out of it. This might happen once or twice anyways, even if you do follow my instructions. I'm going to be completely real with you, but you will land a client sooner or later. I have personally, and our whole agency has never worked with a client that has stopped after one automation. It is basically just unheard of for us because we build so much value, it's almost impossible. So if you do a good job, you target the right business, the odds are so marginally thin that they will just stop at one automation. And the second automation, you can charge whatever you want to charge, right? And as I've been drilling into your head, don't build any free automations for businesses that have less than 20 employees or under $500,000 in revenue, because it's just not safe enough and they will just leave without you, with a free automation, which isn't super ideal. And they're less likely to turn into more projects. So this should give you a best chance to, turn your free automation into more projects. Again, similar sort of situation to method 1. You can look for them all in the same place essentially to find these businesses. And as I mentioned at the start, method 3, if you combine method 2 and method 3, you will get a whale of a client at lightning speed. Like, it is, in my opinion, it's like a hack to, get your first AI automation client. And again, the free automation should be a relatively quick build. So really in 2 weeks. It should be amazingly good quality. They'll want to come back for more and more. And you should be giving ideally instant ROI. So you probably need to work fast and hard on this free automation because, like I said, they have no skin in the game. They don't care if it works or not because they've put no money in, right? So you need to make sure you build it out fast and you just show them instantly that it's done. This is more efficient than your best employee ever, right? Recently, I was on a call with a client and he said, I hire over 80 people in my business and the automation you built has been my most efficient employee overnight. Right? So when you start to get feedback like that, you know something you're doing is right. And we're selling the same things, you and I, right? So you just need to make sure when you build them, they are high quality. They blow the client's mind away. And you can do that quickly as long as you really put the pedal to the metal. Keep it simple but valuable. The goal is to get them hooked on automation. And that's exactly what, this idea and this whole ethos and mantra is about. Okay. And the next step here is to convert them into a paying client. And as I've mentioned this whole time, you need to deliver and over-deliver. Make sure to impress them, blow their socks off, and build rapport. Make sure you're talking to them friendly. Make sure you learn more about their business when you speak to them. So in that 2 weeks, you might have 2 catch-up calls, 30 minutes each. Don't just talk about the automation. Talk about more about their business. Talk about what else they'd like automated if this one works out really well. Speak to them about their pain points and just understand generally what they do. Because if you understand that, then you can suggest automations that they might not even thought of or they might not thought it's possible, because you and I are the experts in this. We can show them, we can show off exactly, what we can build and where we can add value. The key here is upselling, right? So upselling, you should go the first project complete and then ask them what else they'd like automated. You should already have some ideas ready to go. And if they see the value in what you're doing, they will already, in their day-to-day, they'll be like, oh shit, I'm doing this manually, man. Can I automate it? And then they'll send you an email saying, hey, Yash, can you automate this? And I'll be like, yeah, you can do that, right? And then you say, let's book a call on the following day to let's have a chat about how we can automate this together. And then you slowly take them through that same sales cycle. And they'll be like, oh, awesome, we can automate this. And they already trust you, right? Because that element's done. You just got to show the return. The minute you show the return, you've closed that project and you're winning. So that's kind of the best thing to do here. And that's exactly what I say here. They already trust you. So as long as you provide ROI, they will be happy to pay. So that's a really in-depth tutorial of method 2. And this one works really well. And I wish I knew it earlier, because I know I would have got my first client within 20 or 15 days if I had, this kind of advice when I started off. Instead, it took me 5 or 6 months to really land my first client. So that's why, if I knew this before, I would have just found out what business and what they do, and then I would have just offered a free automation just to kick everything off. But anyways, method 3 is my absolute favorite method. So you might be watching this on YouTube. I upload the same video to YouTube and TikTok. And the reason why I prefer TikTok to YouTube when you're starting out is because TikTok is rapid. Like, it is so fast to grow because it already shows your video to 1,000 people, well, to 200 people without you doing anything. And if your video is half decent, it shows it to 1,000 people. So first of all, how long would it take you to cold email 1,000 people? And how many things you have to set up to do that? And how much would it cost you? A lot, right? And the same way YouTube, you have to slowly build an audience and it normally takes months and months and months. Whereas TikToks, you don't need any followers to go viral. The videos are super quick and easy to make. And also, in your favor is, you might be thinking, Yash, TikTok, what business owners are on TikTok? TikTok's just full of like 15-year-olds that are just sitting there brain rotting, essentially. But this is a preconceived notion of TikTok. And you've thought about this without actually testing it out and validating that hypothesis, right? So this works in our favor because there are business owners that match our ICP with the over 500k revenue with 20 plus employees that are scrolling through TikTok looking for your services, right? I have personally closed multiple $50,000 clients off TikTok. So they exist, right? And the good thing is it's such an untapped niche because everyone has this thing where, oh, I need to be on YouTube, I need to be on LinkedIn, this is where all the business owners are. But TikTok is really the best way to grow fast. And I've done it myself. I've kind of shown that even though I've only got 2,000 followers, I have landed so many clients off TikTok because it just shows your video to so many different people. So how does TikTok actually help us solve our two different problems I showed you earlier, which was trust and also showing return? Well, trust. How much more do you trust me since you've watched this video? You've consumed my content, right? You probably trust me a lot more than you did when you clicked on this video or scrolled to this video when you started, depending on which platform you're watching it on. How quickly and how much trust have I built just by talking to you on this camera? Well, that's exactly what TikTok does, right? You are talking to these people directly on camera. And even though you might not know them, they are slowly getting to learn about you. So this is where you're going to build trust, right? And it's the same method we're doing now, right? You probably trust me more the same way they'll trust you more. So you're already building trust by recording and uploading this content onto TikTok. And from my experience, when people trust you, clients come ready to buy your solutions. They're like, hey, Yash, I have this problem. I want this solution. How much will it cost me? Those are the three main questions they ask. They do occasionally ask, oh, can I see a testimonial? I don't really see much digital footprint, etc. Can I see some of your old clients? If you don't have this, and that's fine, because if you combine method 2 and method 3, say, hey, I know you don't trust me. If I do this for free, do you trust me? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, just do it, man. And this way they're more invested in you because they've seen your content. They know what you're capable of. They just want proof of it. So that's why combining method 2 and method 3 will land you a whale of a client. So I've been on TikTok for a while, I think almost 5 months now, or 6 months. And this is exactly how I've learned the TikTok algorithm works, right? So it normally goes through in stages and how TikTok shows you videos. So TikTok will show your video to like 300 to 500 people. I'm going to be honest, your first few videos might be stuck in 300 to 500 people. Depends on how well TikTok likes your videos. But that's how it goes. And then if TikTok likes your video and it gets enough watch time, likes, comments, quite honestly, I find the TikTok algorithm to be a little bit weird. I don't really fully understand how it works. But essentially, if it likes your video, then it will push it to thousands more people, right? And you can get a video on like 20, 30, 40,000 views. That means 40,000 potential clients have watched your video. Some of them might not be qualified, whatever, right? But that's the same thing when you're doing cold outreach. It is a really quick way to get a bunch of eyeballs onto your business, which is what you're lacking right now. If you get so many inquiries, then you're way more likely to, land a client. The more eyeballs there are, the more awareness of your brand and your business, the more likely you are to land a client. So that's exactly what TikTok does. The more viral you go, the more it pushes it, to thousands of more people. And if audience love it, then it goes to the For You page loop and it continues to grow until TikTok decides it shouldn't grow anymore because you don't have the right amount of engagement to go to the next level. And TikTok's favorite engagement metrics are watch time, replays, and shares and saves. So these are the three main things you should be watching on. If you have a great hook at the start, that's obviously way more likely to boost your metrics. So the main thing about TikTok, and the more this will impact the speed at which you grow. So upload as many videos as you physically can. If you don't have any clients, you probably don't have anything else to do. You might be learning a little bit more about automation in the background, but you should be kind of spending 3 to 4 hours every single day trying to get your first client, because otherwise there's no money coming into the business, right? So you need to upload. And if you spend 3 hours a day on content, then you are likely to, upload a bunch of videos. Like we're talking about maybe 5 videos a day. And TikTok is all about volume. So if you just get one viral video out of those 5, you're looking at like 10 plus leads. That is incredible. So you just need to upload as many videos as you can. I recommend anywhere between 3 and 5 videos a day when you're starting out. And then if you see it's really, really working well, then you want to upload 5 to 10 videos every single day. And this way your TikTok channel will just grow and grow. That is the hack to upload on TikTok. I'm really bad with it. I'm quite a busy individual and I like to make these longer style videos than like the TikTok style short videos. So that's why, I could probably boost my TikTok channel massively. But first of all, we need to hire more developers. And second of all, I like these long style videos because they, first of all, convert more better quality clients. And also, I just don't have the time and energy to upload 3 to 5 TikTok videos a day. But we will be getting there at some point when we have a bit more time. So yeah, but if you're starting out like I did upload 3 to 5 videos a day. And they were really good, high quality videos. And that's how you grow your TikTok channel, just by volume. So after uploading numerous TikToks and also being a little bit of a TikTok addict, I can kind of tell you how TikTok likes its algorithms and the perfect TikTok video formula. So the best TikTok formula is, the first thing is you need a 3-second hook. And this hook, it can be a bit longer than 3 seconds actually. I'd probably say about 6-second hook. And the most important thing about the whole video is this hook. You need to make sure that you grab someone's attention, because the most likely time when someone's going to scroll is within the first 5 to 6 seconds. So you need to make sure your hook is amazing. So a great one would be, stop scrolling if you want unlimited free leads, for example. Like, that's a crazy, outrageous statement. A lot of businesses want unlimited free leads. Or, this automation I just built saved $10,000 last month, and every business wants to save $10,000, right? So you're way more likely to get more eyeballs. So you just go on ChatGPT and ask it, like, this is my video idea, give me 15 brilliant hooks, and it could go and give you some amazing hooks. That is kind of one of the most important parts. And the other part is end with a strong call to action. So like, follow me for more AI automation tutorials. That's normally mine. Don't steal that one. And also the other one is, if you want me to set this up for you, DM me AI. If you want to set up for free, DM me AI. More people are likely to, relate to free things. So that's that. Another really good tactic is you can sell like not sell, but give templates away for free online. So comment onboarding if you want this free AI onboarding automation template, and then you can go and create those and send them over to people on TikTok. And also, if you want some inspiration from other really top TikTok creators, if you come to my TikTok profile, and while you're here, you can drop me a follow if you fancy. You can go to my following page over here and click on all the other AI automation influencers. I follow all the top AI automation influencers on TikTok. So you can just go through and click on these, and you can have a look at what sort of styles people upload. So for example, Boss AI Automation, I know he uploads faceless kind of content, which is super, super interesting. Geeta's personal friend of mine, he's niched down to lawyer firms. So he's like great if you want to see any niches. And then there are a bunch of other people on here where you can follow, and understand what works on TikTok. And then, when you watch these videos, think about, how can I make this video better? Because that's likely to get more views. And when you develop your own style and your own way of, getting some really, really good videos out, that's the best way to grow your TikTok channel. Final takeaway from this is why TikTok is the #1 strategy to get fast AI automation clients. #1 is TikTok is just free organic traffic, but on steroids. You get boosted to so many different people, and businesses know, right, that they have to integrate AI and automation into their businesses to stay ahead. And the ones that don't will be left behind. It's just the way of how the business is working right now, right? So that's why on TikTok, you get a bunch of business owners who have eyeballs on your content. And as TikTok figures out your algorithm and who likes to stick around and who doesn't, so most likely business owners are the people that want to stick around, and people that want to learn how to build AI automations. Those are the two people that will stick around. It's not normal people don't want AI automations that are just general consumers. So it will naturally push to your target clients essentially. It's also best for landing clients fast versus like Instagram, where you need a previous following, YouTube, where you need a previous following, and all the other social media sites. And also, it turns outreach into attraction. Business owners come to you. You're not cold DMing them, bugging them. They watch your content voluntarily and then go, this is really cool, let's do that. So that's kind of how TikTok is really, really useful. So the action steps for you are: start posting 3 to 5 TikToks per day, and use hooks, fast cuts, and strong call to actions. And once, a business owner, which will always happen, is they'll reach out to you in your DMs and say, hey, I have this idea for a really cool automation. How do I build it out? You go, oh, here's a link. Why don't you have a 30-minute chat with me? Make sure they're qualified. They have the same requirements, that I outlined with, $500,000 annual revenue, and also 30 plus employees. Once you have all of that, right, and you've qualified them, just offer to build their first automation for free if it's your first client. Because this way, they're going to know, like, they're never going to say no, because they've come to you to say they want to automate it. They know it's free. they're not going to say no. And I 100% guarantee you, if you build that automation properly and they meet those requirements, they will buy paid automation off you in the future. They will think the thing you've built is so amazing that they just need more of it. So combining method 2 and method 3 is a surefire way to get a client in crazy speed and start to really kick off your AI automation agency. So that's it. That's all 3 methods that I've learned over a year and a half of running an AI automation business. Essentially, what I realized is for your first client, you need to put the legwork in to build that trust. And so yeah, that's kind of the easiest way and the quickest way to get your first AI automation client. And AI automation clients are worth so much money that you don't need a client you don't need one client every week to really make your business viable, right? So that's why it compounds over time when you get your first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. That if you can squeeze out $20,000 to $30,000 per client, you're making a lot of money. So that's why these methods work really well, where you put a bit more legwork into getting the client, but then it pays dividends in the future. It always does. So just as a really quick recap, method 1 was you pick out a niche, you build a automation that's sustainable for that niche and should be easy and quick to implement. Find businesses that need this solution. Ideally, you should already know which businesses want this solution. You offer it for free and then you follow up and upsell. Super simple, super effective, and this is great if you want to be in a specific niche. Then a recap for method 2 is the work for free strategy. This is where you find the right type of business with 20 plus employees and $500,000 in revenue. You offer a you offer a no risk free fix automation. You deliver quickly and you over deliver and you follow up and upsell. And as long as you make sure that the business follows this sort of criteria, then the follow up and upsell should be easy. And the last method, which is my absolute favorite, is the TikTok strategy, where you post 5 to 10 posts, and the more posts you have, the more chance you go viral. You grab attention within the first 3 seconds. You show case studies, and you can have some amazing call to actions where people will naturally just come to you saying, hey man, I want this automated. And if from there you take that and you match that up with method 2, where you find the right types of business and then you just offer it for free, you're guaranteed to get your first client in lightning speed. So yeah, let me see, did I write anything else in this whimsical? Let's zoom out. Nope, that was the last thing I wrote. So I think now it's time for the outro. So if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a lot, right? Because these methods will guarantee you your first client. There's no way you don't get your first client. As long as you follow them and you put your legwork in, you build trust, you show return on investment, you will land your first client. So don't stress too much. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, it'd help out so much if you could interact with it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.